So I have a little bit of an update on the Discovery Network's story that was developing over a couple of weeks ago, where this article came out and it was detailing how Discovery was supposedly not only cutting off all royalties moving forward, but also going back and not paying royalties for music that's already been airing and has been on TV for many, many years. So I actually had a composer who directly composes and works with Discovery, who has done over 500 episodes with them. And he said it was basically about 70% of his career he's been working with Discovery. He actually got a direct call from the higher ups who are running Discovery's music department, and they basically clarified what they're going to be doing moving forward. And so he reached out to me. I really want to thank you. I'm not going to put your name in this video. He did get permission to share this information from the higher ups. He actually showed me the email where they said, yeah, you can share this. I still don't want this to affect you in any potential way, so I'm not going to put your name out there. But this person will, hopefully, I think, will be a guest on my podcast actually in the coming weeks. So you'll get to know him and what he's all about. So I really appreciate you for reaching out and letting me know this. So essentially, this is what he said. That moving forward, they are first not going to be stripping you of royalties for music that's already aired on TV. So they're not going to go back in time and pretend like that music doesn't exist and stop paying out royalties for music they've already put on the air. Okay, so that's some good news. Now, he had the impression that this was a change, that initially they did want to do this, but because of the public backlash, because of that article, because of everybody making a lot of noise about it, they decided, wow, this is really not a good look for us. Let's not even go down that path. So that was his interpretation of it, so I'll take him at his word at that. So that's good that we made a bunch of noise, and that kind of made Discovery think twice about that. However, and he's a direct composer, Ken, so we don't have too many updates on the library side of things, but I want to make sure this is clear. I'm talking about, this is a direct composer. He has not worked with production music libraries. He's been directly hired by Discovery to compose music, custom music for their TV shows and all that kind of stuff, okay? So they're telling him that moving forward, from now on, that they will be doing just direct licensing, okay? And the fees that they're going to be paying out, from what he could gather, $500 to $1,000 per track. Obviously, there could be some more, some little, depending on the scope of the project, the length of the music, all that kind of stuff. Everything is going to be probably negotiable. So he's obviously in a position now where he's kind of deciding, is that something I really want to do? Is that something I really want to go for? And he's going to probably just weigh it out as these opportunities come his way. And obviously, I'm not in his shoes, and I obviously let him know, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's really not a good deal for you, because I know those back-end royalties is what's allowed you to do this full time, and it's obviously going to be your retirement plan moving forward. So that is at least the most clear we've had on this subject so far. I really wish the Discovery people would just come out and make a statement and just talk about this, because the more that they don't do that, the more that everybody gets these ideas of what's happening, and we're still really not sure about what they're doing when it comes to the library side of things, where my hunch was that they were going to try to start to supply their TV shows with pre-made music out of their own catalog and their own library that I still believe they would be paying out their writers' royalties for. Now, that's still unclear. We still have no idea what's happening with that, because if you don't remember from my previous video, I had an actual student of mine that works with a library that supplies music with Discovery confirm that this is exactly what is going on. The Discovery is building up their catalog, but there's no intention on that catalog that they're building up to take away royalties from the producers or the songwriters. They're continuously, supposedly from this source that I have, that they're going to still pay out those royalties for their own library, their own catalog that they're building. The reason why they save money there, though, is that the publishing they will take ownership of, so they won't have to be paying out that publishing side of the royalties, just the writer side. So it still saves them money, and it also still gives us, as composers, our royalties. And whether or not it's going to be 100% they take the publishing, or it's like a 50-50 split between them and maybe the production music catalog that they're getting the music from, all that still is very unclear. We really don't know where that's going. So what does this mean for you if you're a production music writer? I would definitely talk to your libraries and ask them if they have any updates on what's happening with Discovery, whether or not, if your library does pitch to Discovery, if they've made any indications about what they're going to be doing moving forward, and just try to let your library know that you want to be informed, fully informed about what's happening. Because obviously, if you've signed your music over exclusively, that's in the library's hands. They can decide how they want to license your music out. But you obviously have power that if they are supplying music to Discovery and you are finding out that they are taking a direct license, no royalties, and you don't want to be a part of that, you obviously have the right to go away from that library. Here's the part where It's our constant struggle in this industry as composers and producers. There's no union. There's no centralized union of organization, and there's really no sort of a law that requires something like Discovery to pay out royalties. So we are in a predicament where we have some power and we have limited power, right? And this is that situation where for this person that reached out to me, he obviously has to make his own choice whether or not this direct deal will still be worth his effort and his time, because he's got bills to pay, he's got a family, he's got mortgage and all that stuff. So he needs to be earning income. And so I am not in any position to say to somebody like that, hey, you can't say yes to these deals because you're screwing out all these other composers or myself or anything like that. Same thing what we talked about with the Netflix operation, where they're doing these buyout deals for 3, 5, sometimes larger grand per track. I can't go to a 24-year-old that's just getting his career started when $3,000 for him is a lot of money, and he's okay. He's confident and he's comfortable with making that voluntary exchange. Again, this isn't fraud, this isn't illegal, this isn't unethical. It's just a different kind of a deal. And so I understand that there's a lot of us, and I'm the first one to say protect those royalties, go to the back end, because that's how the majority of my income has been earned. But I do also have the other side of my brain that says, there's going to be different kinds of opportunities out there, and they're not all going to follow in the same model of what's worked in the past. They can't, because there's going to be new distribution channels and new technologies and new ways to do things. So the Discovery Networks is obviously a different deal because it was in that model of royalties, and now it does seem that some music they put forward that they secure in the future, they will be paying royalties out, but it seems like other music, they're not going to be. And another hypothesis I might have is that with this direct licensing offer they're going for, that they're giving to direct composers like this source that reached out to me, this might be their way to try to push some of them out, to say like, listen, we're not firing you, we're not letting you go, but we're basically giving you this deal, or just take it or leave it, essentially. And if a lot of the composers do leave, then they will have to go to their catalog. And the big thing that we're going to see moving forward here is if this actually works or not, right? So if Discovery across the board does away with back-end royalties and just does these direct licensing deals, it's really up to us as composers and producers to determine whether or not it's going to be a business model that they can survive in. Because if they do this, and you're watching this video now, you supply your music to Discovery and you decide no, and maybe 20 other people also decide no, I don't want to do that, and they go elsewhere, Discovery's content will suffer. They will have lower quality music. They're not going to get all the music is crucial in all the reality shows and documentaries and all the things that Discovery does. They are a content platform. They have to have high quality, not only video and stories and editing and all that kind of stuff, but music is a really key part of their core business model to keep people entertained and watching their TV shows. So if this new royalty-free business model, supposedly if they're going in that direction, doesn't work out, you better believe that other networks and other TV companies are looking at this right now very closely to see if it's going to work out or not. So in the way that we don't have a union or anything like that we can really sort of say, hey, no, you're not following by the union guidelines, you're not going to be able to get music from any of us. Because we don't have that, we have to basically just, in a way, it's hard to say we need to stick together because everybody has different needs and different they're in different places of their music career. So again, I don't feel comfortable telling somebody like this person, you should say no to those deals. No, don't do it because it's going to screw the rest of us over. I'm not in his shoes. I'm not paying his bills. I don't know what he has to decide when those opportunities come through, just in the same way that he's not in my shoes. And I get opportunities sometimes that are complete buyouts. I remember a few years back, I had an opportunity to produce a whole bunch of cover songs of already established tracks, and it was a complete buyout. It was like $350 per track, and I did a few of them, but they wanted me to just crank out tons and tons and tons and tons of them, and I felt like, you know what, the more that literally maybe they were going to have me do this for 3 or 4 months, and I thought, it might be some good upfront right now money, but you're asking me to take time away from my my library opportunities, which do pay me royalties down the road, and that could be tens of thousands of dollars. So yeah, I might make something here up front for the next couple months, but that also jeopardizes my ability to make future royalties, right? So my situation is going to be different from yours. So my whole point with all the videos and all the topics I brought up regarding Discovery, I think at the end of the day, you got to evaluate it for yourself, whether or not you want to supply your music. And If you're completely against it on principle and you don't like it, then use your power. And your power is just to say no. Okay, you don't have to go along with these deals. You don't have to say yes to them. You can go find other outlets and other networks to pitch your music to, or other maybe production music libraries to partner with. So that is the latest I have on that. That's the update I have. If I have anything further, I will obviously make another video and let you guys know of what I have available. And this is why, again, in that first video, I said, let's not overreact. Let's not freak out and think that the entire industry is collapsing. We're talking about one, yes, it's a big company, but it's one company flirting with changing their business model. So we need to evaluate it as it comes down the pipeline and not get ahead of ourselves and be able to be informed and just kind of stay cool, calm, and collected, because that's how we're going to win, okay? By freaking out and giving into panic and fear, we don't win. We really don't do well in this industry. And so I think for us to be just as shrewd and as successful as we possibly can be, let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's try to stay informed as much as possible. And I will definitely try to do everything that I can to obviously keep you guys informed on any updates I get on this story. So go ahead and leave me your thoughts, your comments below. I love reading those, especially for the last two videos I put out on this topic. I'd love to see what you guys think. And of course, if any of you are watching this video and you have other insights and you have some other information, reach out to me, email me. I'll be happy to get on a call with you, or you can just email me what you know. Any information that you think would be beneficial for all of us producers to really get ahead of this story and to just basically be prepared for these kind of changes, please do reach out. I would love to hear from you. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.